Alright everyone, here's a partially humorous video. It's on the Thot audit, which basically, for those that don't understand what's going on, it's the idea of going after some of the streamers and premium Snapchatters and, cam girls and stuff online that have taken to social media at various times to openly brag about evading their taxes. I happen to support that. I'm not a huge fan of taxes, and certainly not the IRS, shouldn't even exist. But if we're going to have such a system, yeah, everyone should pull the right. I have to pay tens of thousands of dollars in taxes because of my income. The government double dips on people like me because there's that self-employment tax too. So when I see someone's making, they made 5-10 grand on the side in addition to whatever day job they have, and they're not even filing it, yeah, I would rather them have to file it just like I do. I'd rather us all have to pay significantly less, but if we're going to have such a shitty system as we have, everyone should be equally treated shittily. Unfortunately, people like maybe the Rockefellers, George Soros, probably not. But there's a caveat to this. Much as I support going after people who are openly fucking bragging about evading taxes, and there are some people right now that are like crying their crocodile tears, oh my god, but these online sexers, they work so hard. They show you their milky nipples in order to get... Okay, that's fine. They should still have to pay taxes. I'm not going to be taken in by that emotional bullshit. Here's the problem, though. My first familiarity with this was literally Roosh V, of course. The dude who does like the pickup artist books, and he's sort of like kind of an MRA, I guess, or something. Posting about Brittany Venti. Now, she had locked her account some time ago on unrelated reasons. And he was claiming that it was somehow connected to the Thot audit. I'm thinking to myself, you have no evidence of this, and you are dog whistling to your fans to try to fuck over this creator's career. Based on absolutely no evidence, like basically saying, oh yeah, it'd be funny, she's trying to evade her taxes. We know this because she locked her account, but she did that before this audit became a thing. So it doesn't make sense. The fundamental central premise of his argument is objectively wrong. I would say this: if you're targeting someone for malicious reasons, it's no different than the fiscal equivalent of swatting. And what are you doing there? It's like, well, yeah, but he's not really committing a crime. So when the cops barged in through his bedroom window when he's gaming or something, it's okay because, it might be a dangerous or legally dubious situation, but it's okay. And, you anonymous tips and stuff. But those people that are saying, well, you can tip the IRS anonymously, don't worry about it. You do realize that they do have your IP address, correct? Like this is the government you're talking about. The IRS has fucking bullshit that the FBI probably doesn't have. You think that they can't find out who they are pertinent to a lawsuit? If you're openly, publicly posting, hey, fuck this person over. What evidence do I have? It's bad faith. That's the whole problem. You don't have any evidence that they're evading taxes. Someone locking their Twitter account a week and a half ago is not evidence of them evading taxes. I don't know what you're talking about. Now, I've got these people on there that, it was funny, saying, oh, well, you're white knighting. You want coochie, that's the old meme. You're white knighting. I'm thinking, me not wanting to see the creator community fucked up the ass again with another one of these movements that at first is quite good, which is the idea of, making people pay the taxes they owe. But then it turns into a political shit show where people get dragged in that have nothing to do with that. Yeah, okay, that's white knighting. The only motivator for that is wanting sex. It couldn't be, hey, the stability of the site is going to go down the fucking toilet because everyone is going to start reporting each other to the fucking IRS, in addition to all the other crazy shit they do. We've already got enough of a problem with deplatforming by a bunch of corporations without creators going after each other. And I seem to remember Roosh V was very upset when Amazon was fucking around with him. I seem to remember that there was a little bit of a touchy issue when all your fucking books were getting banned off the site. By the way, at the time, I'm like, hey, Amazon shouldn't be doing this. But now I've got to call this shit out. The general premise of the Thot audit makes sense. Because I have seen people openly posting about it. They're like, whoa, I made so much money. Look at all this green that I made from, flashing my ass or whatever. Okay, that's fine. Then limit it to then actually go after and report people that are bragging about tax evasion or that you have a reasonable suspicion are doing so. If you're saying, if your suspicion is based on they fucking locked their account a week and a half ago, that's not a reasonable suspicion. That's being a jackass. That's being a snitch and probably setting yourself up for a legal problem if that person does end up getting audited. You think that they're not capable of lawyering up and saying theirs, hey, who sent in these tips? Yeah, I understand. It's all anonymous, confidential, whatever. You've got their IP address. We need that pertinent to a legal case. falls under, I believe it fall under defamation or harassment laws ultimately. If it's part of an organized effort, probably harassment. Could be a pretty serious charge. That being said, of course, I don't think anyone should go to prison for it, but they should be using restraint, certainly. Basically, if you think if you have reasonable suspicion, if you have a reasonable threshold of evidence, someone is openly posting on Instagram or whatever, hey, I evade my taxes. Yeah, go ahead. But for everyone else, no, they shouldn't be subject to it and saying, well, they need to show their tax returns. Are you fucking crazy? Nobody in their right mind is going to post their fucking tax returns for your benefit. By the way, it would be just like with the social justice wars. Like, hey, show us that you're not a far-right fucking Nazi. Lick the toilet brush of this person of color or something. It's like, and then you don't do it. Even if you were to do that, they would laugh about it and they'd want you to do it again because it's funny. By the way, I have advice to anyone that does get wrongfully targeted by this sort of thing ever throughout time. Don't even respond. Don't apologize. Don't back down. Fucking don't give in. Just ignore it. If it's too much for you to fight off on your own or with your fans or whatever, just fucking ignore it. Literally, it'll go away on its own. It's like Peter Norway. He has a very short attention span because he's a fucking Marxist. The left usually are the ones that do this sort of thing, though. I mean, taking it beyond... The central premise is okay. It's almost a reform movement. Oddly enough, it's like, hey, millions of dollars are being paid to people through private, like, Snapchats and shit. They need to owe taxes on this. By the way, a higher tax rate than normal, it's got that 15% surcharge. Depending on how much they make, they could pay a 30% effective tax rate fairly easily on those earnings. But if you don't have evidence of tax evasion, then it doesn't fall under hashtag Thot Audit. It falls under hashtag you are a fucking moron. And I hate how self-righteous some of the people associated with this will get. It's like, they go along with, again, like the lynch mob mentality. Just like the fucking third waivers do constantly. It's like, well, you are white knighting. There's something wrong with you if you oppose this action, even if it's not part of the same fucking sub-movement you're originally discussing. The idea of holding people accountable for what they're posting on social media and the money that they're making, if they're not paying their fair share, is totally different from targeting someone for, I don't know, did Roosh get rejected? Did he try his pickup artist stuff and it didn't work? Is that why he's pissed off? I'm gonna, in all seriousness though, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, and I really mean this. I'm going to assume that one of his fans tipped him off to this maliciously, and he wasn't aware of the fact that her account had been locked to begin with. I'm going to make that assumption. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. I mean, he's smart enough to fucking do a little research into this thing. So I'm going to assume that it's not malicious on his end, but I mean, you got to make sure that there's actual evidence. By the way, and this goes in both directions, don't send the IRS a link or a screenshot. You do realize those can be deleted or falsified. It's called Grease Monkey. It happens all the time. Archive it. Archive.is. I use it for basically everything. All the news reports, the reasons you don't see ads if you click on them is because they've been archived. The archive, the IRS can't argue with that so easily. I don't know if you can physically fake something on there. I guess maybe if you hacked into their site, you probably could. Otherwise, yeah, forget about it. The IRS probably going to be more responsive to that than a screenshot of a post that might be deleted before they actually review it. And these people hoping to get like up to a 30% cut if they end up in collection selling, don't hold your fucking breath. The IRS would give you peanuts if anything. You're not going to get some magical reward from Uncle Sam for turning in other people to the Gestapo. There's a little bit what it's like, even if it's, you know, above board in most cases. Be careful about making legal claims against people. Make sure they're accurate. If the legal claim can stand up, if it's reasonable, go ahead and make it if you feel inclined to do so. Don't take it and destroy your own sub-movement that has at least a kernel of really good meaning behind it, which is, hey, pay your fucking taxes. And take it and extrapolate that to, hey, let's just go after anybody who ever shows cleavage, anybody who has Snapchat, anybody who sends pictures to anybody, and also, again, people who, you might have some creator who has an axe to grind with some person who streams on Twitch or whatever, and tries to get them targeted. You do realize that is illegal. It's normally not something you can get in trouble for unless you've posted publicly about it. The problem is some of these people, I don't know, it's like extending a 4chan mentality to Twitter or something. Even there, you're not fully anonymous if there's a legal suit. Have you ever read the TOS of 4chan? Yeah, you can be unmasked for legal purposes. Some people, of course, using like 10 VPNs. They're behind 7 boxies or something. Okay, understood. But if you're sending in a tip to the IRS, trust me, they know who you are. They're going to be able to tell, so make sure that there's actually reasonable suspicion. You've seen someone posting about evading taxes, go ahead, fucking report them for tax evasion. But saying somebody closed their account, it must be related to the Thot audit. And it's like they they locked their account a week before that became a thing. Well, is it in bad faith, or are you not aware of this fact? Well, then in the latter case, do more fact checking. In the former case, I don't know what you're doing, dude. It's like total straight MGTOW bullshit. Sort of like a group of people with pink hair, I guess, saying, we must deplatform this evil male. He said there were two genders, and everyone knows that that is Nazi ideology. So yeah, I'd say it's a good central idea. The idea of attempting to recover cheated on tax returns, I think, is a great idea. I'm probably talking about some tens or hundreds of millions of dollars outstanding in these cases. But if you don't have evidence that someone's cheated on their taxes, you should leave them alone. And not be a snitch, not be a busybody or a fucking jackass. That's about all. Peace out.